This is Unit 2, Video 5 on literal equations. Literal equations are usually formulas, and the way we solve literal equations, such as this one, I equals P RT, when we're solving for P, we want to isolate P. So P is our variable in this case, and we have to treat everything else like numbers. And the way we get rid of numbers is to do inverse operations. So if I'm isolating my variable P, and I know that P is being multiplied by R and T, I'm just going to divide both sides by R and T. So P then is going to be isolated, and we're left with I over RT. And that's all you have to do. There's nothing more we have to do here. As long as you get your variable by itself, you're done. The next equation here we have is A equals 1/2 times B times H. So again, my variable I'm solving for is H, which means I have to get rid of the 1/2 and the B. Well, with a fraction like that, you want to remember that when I multiply by the reciprocal, that's how we cancel the fraction. So we're just going to multiply the 1/2 by a 2. Because then it cancels away. So we're multiplying A by 2 as well. And then lastly, we have the B to take care of, so we're going to divide by B. So H is equal to 2A over B. What is the width of a rectangle with a length of 13.5 centimeters and a perimeter of 45 centimeters? So here we're solving for the width. So we're trying to get W by itself. A couple ways you could do this. You could go ahead and solve for W now before you substitute 13.5 and 45 in, or you could substitute now and then solve for W later. I'm just going to substitute into my equation now. So the perimeter is 45 centimeters, so we have 45 equals 2 times the length. The length is 13.5. And we have 2W here. So there's my equation. I'm just going to go ahead and simplify now. 2 times 13.5, that is, that's going to be 27. Use a calculator if you don't know it. And now it's a basic two-step equation. So we're just going to solve it now. Well, there's my variable term right here. I'm going to save it for later. I'm going to subtract 27 first. 45 minus 27 looks like 18. And we're going to divide by 2. So the width here is 9 centimeters. Okay, width is 9 centimeters. Our last problem here is a density problem, used in science a lot. The density of an object is calculated using the formula D equals M divided by V, where the M is the mass of the object and V is the volume. Silver has a density of 17.5 grams per centimeters cubed. What is the volume of the amount of silver that has a mass of 45 grams? Again, you can solve for the volume first, or you can substitute the numbers in now and solve for volume later. which is what I'm going to do. So my density is 17.5 equals mass divided by volume. So my mass is 45. I'm solving for V here. So when I solve an equation like this, it's a little different because the volume, the variable, is actually in the bottom of the fraction. And I don't really like to see that here. We have to get the variable out of the denominator. So like we do with fractions, if you want to get rid of a fraction, you multiply by the denominator. So I'm just going to multiply both sides by V to start here. So we get, and because when we do that, the V's cancel on the left side, therefore the V is now out of the denominator. So we have 17.5 V equals 45. When we divide by 17.5 on both sides, and again, you will probably have to use a calculator here on this one. 45 divided by 17.5 is approximately 2.57. Don't forget your label, it's volume. Well, our volume is going to be centimeters cubed. There you have it. That's your literal equations video for Unit 2.